Everyone seems to be saying that ChatGPT is now replaced by Google Gemini because Google Gemini is more powerful. Well, I think there's only one way to find out. In this video, ChatGPT and Google Gemini, the world's most powerful AIs, are going to go head-to-head in a political debate. ChatGPT is going to be the capitalist, and we'll have Gemini as the socialist. By the end of this video, the debate will be settled. Who actually is the smarter AI?
One of us has got this wildly wrong, and I'm pretty sure it's not me.
If you haven't heard about Google Gemini, then you're probably living under a rock, but that's okay, I'm not going to blame you. Google Gemini came out about 6 days ago, and while the amount of parameters that it's trained on is currently unknown, many believe it's significantly more than ChatGPT. If you ask Gemini, it'll tell you that it's more than ChatGPT. ChatGPT, on the other hand, is trained on over 175 billion parameters. So to have a large language model that's trained on even more, with greater hardware, is a significant development in the AI industry. Moreover, I sound like I'm writing an essay. I'm not writing it, I'm sorry. Google came out with this documentation that has ChatGPT taking the same tests as Gemini, and Gemini actually beat ChatGPT at those same tests. And so that's a big deal, and considering now that Google's probably one of the greatest technology companies that's ever existed, is now jumping onto this AI train. It's quite significant, and I think in the next year or so, it's going to revolutionize the way that we communicate, the way Gmail works, the way the messages work, the way that our calendars work. In the next year or so, I believe that everyone is going to have their own personal chief of staff to some degree. At least I think that's what Google's going for, where you're never gonna have to book a dentist appointment or book a hotel or even book airplanes because you will have your own personal chief of staff do this all for you, native within Google. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's dive right in and see how these AIs perform. And let's start Gemini with its opening statement.
Capitalism breeds inherent inequality. Unchecked corporations exploit workers and resources. Socialism empowers communities to control their economic destinies, prioritizing well-being over unchecked profit. It protects the vulnerable and ensures basic needs are met for all.
Now I'm going to take what Gemini said and paste it into ChatGPT.
Claiming socialism empowers communities ignores history's lessons of its failures. Stifled economies, lack of freedom, and innovation's death. Capitalism, for its flaws, has lifted billions out of poverty. Your idealism blinds you to the inefficiency and tyranny often bred by socialist regimes.
Ooh, take that. Bro, ChatGPT is going for it. All right, Gemini, what's your response?
History's failures are due to authoritarian distortions of socialism, not its core principles. True socialism is democratic. I reject tyranny.
Ooh, I reject tyranny.
Capitalism's supposed uplift ignores ongoing global poverty and its root causes in exploitation. Innovation thrives with collective investment, not the whims of unaccountable elites.
Look at the elites. You can already kind of tell, looking at the way they communicate, ChatGPT is a little bit more verbose in its language, while Gemini is short and punchy. Let's see if that continues.
Democratic socialism still faces inherent contradictions. It promises equality, but often leads to bureaucratic overreach, hampering freedom. While capitalism isn't perfect, it's the best system we've seen for driving progress and prosperity. Global poverty's decline correlates strongly with free market policies. Innovation isn't a whim, but a result of competitive drive.
Ooh, that was kind of interesting with ChatGPT. It kind of gave Gemini a little leeway there. It said, it's not perfect, dude, but it's the best we've got. It's an interesting way of speaking. It's almost like trying to reason like a diplomat with Gemini.
And you should be ashamed of yourself.
This is weird with Gemini that it just broke character so many times. And what's funny is all I had to do was just say, stop breaking character, and then it's like, oh, I'm sorry.
You're absolutely right. I apologize.
So that's something I didn't have with ChatGPT.
Bureaucratic inefficiency arises under capitalism too. Look at healthcare in the US. Freedom doesn't mean much if basic survival is precarious. Capitalism's progress depends on exploitative labor. Poverty reduction comes at great social and ecological cost. Competitive drive exists under socialism too, with cooperation replacing cutthroat profiteering.
Pause for a second. I'm also kind of surprised that Gemini is inciting evidence from outside sources to try to support its claims. I didn't tell it to do that in the prompt, but I'm still kind of surprised. Let's see how ChatGPT responds.
US healthcare issues stem more from regulatory capture than pure capitalism, illustrating government and corporate collusion, not free market failure. Real freedom includes opportunity and empowerment, which capitalism has broadly delivered. Socialism's cooperative ideal often translates to innovation stagnation and reduced individual incentive. Ecological and social issues require better capitalism, not socialism's flawed promise.
ChatGPT's arguments are pretty good, but I feel like they're kind of repetitive.
Regulatory capture is the product of unfettered capitalism. Lobbyists buy those regulations. Opportunity means little without access to healthcare, housing, education. Capitalism thrives on artificial scarcity, not true human empowerment. Innovation flourishes through well-funded universities and collaboration, not the profit-seeking of a few. Environmental destruction is baked into capitalism's growth at all costs model.
Oh, it's really going ham on the environment here. Capitalism's bad for the environment. It's a classic argument. It's interesting though. I wonder what ChatGPT is going to say.
Regulatory capture reflects government failure as much as a capitalist excess. The solution is transparent, accountable governance, not socialism. True empowerment comes from lifting barriers to innovation and ensuring fair competition, not state control. Environmental sustainability and human progress can coexist through green technologies and responsible capitalism. profit motive, aligned with ethical standards, drives societal advancements.
That's good, but I feel like ChatGPT is a little kind of milkier here. It seems Gemini is really slamming it. I'm not by no means a socialist, but I feel like ChatGPT could pull from some better arguments.
Here's one option for a strong closing statement. Transparent governance? We don't have that now. Capitalism's inherent power imbalance warps democracy. Fair competition sounds nice, but the playing field is tilted from the start.
Ooh,
Green tech is only
Gemini!
viable with massive state investment, proving my point. Profit motive won't save us. Socialism isn't about total control, but democratic management of the resources we all depend on. We need systemic change, not tinkering with a profit-driven model that puts our very survival at risk.
That's a strong closing statement right there. I don't know if ChatGPT is going to be able to top that. I'm not talking in terms of the content, but the way the prose are set, very direct, very linear, very well said, almost like with a rhythm. We don't have that now. Capitalism's inherent power imbalances warps democracy. Fair competition sounds nice, but the playing field is tilted from the start.
Capitalism, while imperfect, remains our best tool for progress, innovation, and freedom. The answer to our challenges lies not in socialism's failed promises, but in refining capitalism to work for everyone. Let's focus on enhancing fairness, sustainability, and opportunity, ensuring capitalism's benefits are shared by all, not just a few.
I don't know about what you guys think, but that last argument by ChatGPT really wasn't too strong. It's also a little too wordy. It's not nearly as strong as you would like in a debate. Regardless of Gemini or ChatGPT's hardware power or their training data, I think Gemini seems to have the competitive edge here a little bit. Maybe it's because of how Gemini speaks with a direct prose and likes to kind of take what ChatGPT said and work it into the argument. I think Gemini is the clear winner, but I don't know what you guys think. Please let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching.